I'm going to have a quick word with the man who gets to start from pole position in the Senior X30 final just before we go to the grid. Toby, it's been a tough first 3 rounds of the championship, but your consistency is what's kept you in the title fight. Now you get to race on a circuit that you know like the back of your hand. What's the mindset going in from pole position?
I'm quite confident, if I'm honest. You know, this is my doorstep. I live not too far from here. I've done thousands of laps and, you know, I know where to place my car, and I'm confident that we can, you know, see Bill on top this weekend.
And you get an amazing sponge to learn from in Andrea Tedesco, one of the masters of this sport. What's it been like working with him week in, week out, taking all of those nuggets of information?
It's been great, honestly. You know, the immense support that he gives me just, you know, keeps on driving me forward, motivates me, and I'm happy working with him. Hopefully he feels the same way back, and looking forward to see what we can do in the future together.
At the start of last year, it was you winning a junior final and your brother Austin winning a senior final. Now you get to race against each other in this competition, but you've both shown incredible flashes of speed this weekend. Can it be a 1-2 perhaps?
Yeah, for sure. You know, that's the goal, really. We'll just see what fate decides in the end, but I'm sure Austin is going to be someone to look out for, really, but we'll just see what happens, really.
Good luck. It's going to be a very tough race out there, but we know you've got what it takes. Go get them.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent opportunity for Toby Gale on home turf. Now, since he's walked his way to the grid, we had a chat with Toby Gale. Let's have a word with Austin Gale as he gets himself ready for an exciting race ahead. Austin, just over 12 months ago, we had a Senior X30 final. You were the king of that. It's going to be a tough one to do this time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be really tough, especially because the whole top 10 are always fighting for the win. So going into this, it's no one really knows who's going to win, really. It's not like a standard Asian race, so it makes it really fun and really fun for the crowd.
For those who weren't watching IAME Series Asia last year, just tell us how big a difference racing at Senior X30 has become in the last 12 months.
Well, yeah, I mean, now we've got a full grid of 36, and of course in qualifying we had to split the grid because there were so many. But last year it was not that many compared to this year, so the level's higher, the racing's better, everything's better.
Do you think you've had to raise your game as well as a driver, the intensity having to elevate itself to keep up with the top 5?
Yeah, of course. It's been so hard to be in the top 5 consistently across the 4 rounds we've raced, and yeah, it's a lot more challenging.
20 laps of this place, you can lose anywhere up to 2 kilograms of body weight. That must be so physical when you're out there just trying to manage tyres and manage your mindset.
Yeah, I mean, going throughout the race, you've got to be really consistent, especially losing that 2 kilos of water weight, which is what it is. But also hydration before the race is really important, because without that focus in the race, you've got nothing. So, you know, yeah, the level's so high, you've always got to be laser focused.
Well, I'll let you go to your grid position. Good luck, Austin. Have a good one.
Thank you.
It's going to be so difficult to predict this one. I'm going to see if we can have a word with a couple of the other drivers. So much still to write this weekend. And don't forget, there are 36 drivers in all. So many challengers. That top 5, ominous, going into the grid. Toby Gale, Austin Gale, Yuka Po, and Clifford Kanjanapis. Watch out for Ferris Fozi 2 in P6. The green flag flies. We go round on the formation lap for the last time this weekend. Bring on the thunder, bring on the noise. Toby Gale and Kimi Chan on the front row of the grid, from Austin Gale and Yuka Po. Then Clifford Kanjanapis and Ferris Fozi, Sidi Kongsiri and Nikhil Bora, Zaria Vraikal and Shavish Sentil, knowing that the Balon and Cooper Fish, Chen Zhuyan and Kai Burke, Miguel Quinones and Andy Barrett, Paracon Adamasami and Didi Tse from Norris Gafor and Paco Miguel Sarmiento, Yohanatan Mosh and Ayan Marwa, Kay Sachin and Thomas George, Zachary Boyce and Tian Runshin, Karim Kar and Mark Yao from Ryan Gunavordana and Amiel Udang, Megat Sulkanine and Putsun Sich Gurang, Sutomo Nishimura and Zhao Shiyan, Alvin Tian and Melvin Shane. Excellent work from our contenders, and it's going to be a very close run race this. 36 drivers pushing to the limit. Who is going to emerge as our Senior X30 race winner? A very tough mission in prospect here. And every single driver knows what's at stake. Big points in the championship. Big opportunity to let this championship come to them or go away from them. And right up at the front, the pressure cooker is intense. Toby Gale and Kimi Chan. Austin Gale and Yuka Po, Clifford Kanjanapis and Feroz Fesrofozi, and 30 other vultures circling the carcasses to try and grab the victory here in the sizzling land of smiles. Who's going to get the victory in Thailand? Round 4. We are about to find out. We charge to the first corner, and the Gale brothers already storming to the first corner, and they are first and second. Austin Gale assists his brother past Kimmy Chan. Oh, contact further back. Several carts involved. Goodness me. The pile-up that we haven't seen all weekend, we've seen at turn 1. Oh my goodness. Carts all over the road. There's at least 8 carts involved in that one, and it's an absolute disaster. Red flag, red flag. So a multitude of carts involved in that one. Red flags immediately. The kart circuit is completely blocked as chassis after chassis is completely destroyed. Well, not a great race at all then at the start. The race has been red flagged. That means that the drivers will work their way back to the starting grid. It'll be a fresh restart. So if any of those drivers can get their kart back to the starting grid, they will be allowed to start again, but I have a feeling that quite a few of them will not be able to. So we need to get a look at that incident again to see who's involved in it, essentially, but there's at least 8 carts, I would say, not going anywhere as a result of that. Very dramatic to see all of the carts tangled up in that one. Let's have another look at it. Into the first corner, and we get 1 point of contact. Bang! It was right in the middle there, just outside the top 10. 1 bit of contact, pirouetting around, and then several carts just spinning and spinning and spinning, and then we've got a complete track blockage. So we've got carts limping their way back to the pits to try and get going again. But it's absolute pandemonium off the start. Looking out to the first corner, I can see several drivers desperately trying to get their carts restarted so that they can rejoin the grid. The top 4 are back in their original positions. Because we've gone red flag on the first lap, it is going to be a full restart. There is the 208 trying to be pushed out of the way. The treble 2 is in the mix there. That is Zachary Boyce, I do believe. So treble 2 is in the mix. Oh no, sorry, that's Thomas George, my apologies. So Thomas George is in the mix there. He's trying to get going again in the hope that he can carry on. I think the 207 was in that mix. So that is the kart belonging to the 207. That's Chen Zhuyan, the Formula K driver. All sorts of carnage on that first lap then. There's the 201 involved in it. Oh my goodness, that's a rolling wreck. So the 201 there out of the race then. There's no way that kart's going to get going again. That is very unfortunate indeed for the particular Formula K driver involved in that one. That's Tian Runchen, the Chinese driver, as Kimmy Chan and Clifford Kanjanapis are just having a chat at the side of the road. But there are so many karts involved in that one, and it's pretty brutal. Right, who's that that's got going again to come back to the pits? That's Ryan Gunnar Vordena. So Ryan Gunnar Vordena has got his kart going again. He'll be able to rejoin. But look at who won't. So many karts. 1-1 is in there as well. So the 211, that is Tsutomu Nishimura. Perhaps he should have entered the Masters. At least he wouldn't have ended up in a 20-kart pile-up. Yuka Po chatting away there with Kimmy Chan. The Gale brothers chatting away. That was a good strategy, mate. Let's just do that again on the restart as cart after cart after cart is swept away from the gap between turns 1 and 2. This is going to be a long process. And I'm afraid there's quite a few drivers who are not going to restart this one just because their karts are looking more like banana skins at the moment at the side of the road. Flotsam and jetsam all over turn 1 and 2. Quite a few karts involved. The medical team is there just to be on the safe side. Whenever there's a red flag with an accident like that, you've got to make sure that the safety teams are there just in case they're required. Now it looks as though Thomas George is frantically pushing his kart back to the start line around turn 1 in the hope that he can get going again. Look in the background. You could just see a kart moving there. It might not be the 222 actually. Trying to see who that is that's running down turn 1, trying to get back to race position again, albeit at the back. And that is a miracle after the damage he had to his kart. They've been instructed to start the engines, so we will go racing. And it's going to be a fantastic final now for 20 laps around this Bira circuit. The clouds are trying to descend over the course, But will we dodge the rain? And will we dodge another big incident like we had on the original start? Well, at least the drivers that were able to get going again have been able to, with a very exciting race in prospect. It doesn't look as though everybody's going to have a perfectly serene race here. And certainly those that had to repair their karts are going to have a very tough race in front of them. Well, we're certainly going to have a tough race in earnest, and I don't think any of the 36 drivers taking part in this race are under any illusion that it's going to be a tough race. Certainly knowing Natapanon and Cooper Fish will not take their original grid positions. I think both of them might have been able to get going again. One driver that will not be taking the start again is Karin Kaur, the Singaporean, getting involved in an incident there, and unfortunately the cart that collided with her ended up hitting her thigh, so she's been taken to the medical centre for a little bit of attention. She's awake and she's okay. She certainly wasn't screaming in agony, but it's a rather unfortunate way for her race to end. So it's time for Toby Gale and Kimi Chan to back up the pack and get ready for this 20-lap final to get underway once more. Hopefully we're going to get a much cleaner start than we got the first time round, as everybody is prepared for an exciting duel to the first corner. 20 laps. A lot of tough racing in the offing here. A few drivers are actually struggling to have a kart that works at all. There's a lot of bounce in one of the karts at the back of the field. Hopefully that's going to go the distance. But as we work our way to the first turn, it's going to be race conditions underway. And just as we saw in the original start, Austin Gale and Toby Gale have assisted each other into turn 1 and 2 after a clean start. It's a bit of a dogfight further back behind Kimi Chan, but it looks as though the Gale brothers are going to do amazing work here to keep Kimi Chan behind them. A very exciting start for sure. As into first and second, the Gale brothers are now doing exactly what they need to stretch out the advantage up front. And so Toby Gale and Austin Gale are into first and second place. Kimi Chan in third, fourth place. That looks like the hard-charging Clifford Kanjanapis, who has worked his way forward into P4 in front of Nikhil Bora. Nikhil Bora has charged forward into P5. Morgan Ranganathan must be having kittens at the side of the circuit. Fireballer back in the top 5 again. So chasing after Clifford Kanjanapis and Nikhil Bora, the former Formula Regional race winner at Dubai Autodrome a couple of seasons ago, really enjoying life back in the car, as Barakon Amarasamy is charging his way forward as well. So Toby Gale leads Austin Gale, then Chan, Kanjanapis, Bora, Raikal, Yu, Ferris Fezrov Fozi, Shabash Sentil, Kai Burke, Siri King Siri and Barakon Amarasamy. A fantastic start to this 20-lap final, 19 laps of it to remain. And out in front, it is a surefire charge from the race leader, Toby Gale, in front of his older brother, Austin. And then Kimi Chan in third place, trying to track them down. He's got the confidence and the incredible speed of last year to be last year's champion. But it's wonderful to see. Gale 1, Gale 2, Chan 3. Up the inside comes Zadia Raikal to dive in on Nikhil Bora, and he gets through. The reigning Junior X30 champion overtakes the Formula Regional Middle East race winner. Nikhil Bora, also a race winner in the Indian Racing League, of course, where his stablemate was the very talented Alistair Jung of Malaysia. Yukapo trying to charge after Nikhil Bora now, the championship leader coming into this weekend. And there's contact on the final turn between the 259 and the 236. So right at the back of this field, we've got some karts out of the woods. As up the inside again, having to defend the position. So we had Amal Udang, Thomas George and Karin Kaur failing to take the start, and then collisions there between Alvin Chan and Noin Natapanon at the back of the field. So Toby Gale leads the way, and look at the gap that is being produced as Austin Gale hangs on in front of Kimi Chan. He is defending big time here. Incredible. Kimi Chan is fighting with Austin Gale, and Austin Gale is doing everything he can to hold on to second place. He's parking the bus in the hairpin. They're wrestling their way past Austin Gale. Zadia Raikal dives in on Kimi Chan. 3 wide amongst the DRM parallels into turn 1. Chan goes round the outside. Kanjanapis tucks in on Zadia Raikal, and Nikhil Bora with a chance to steal up in front of Yukapo. Absolutely incredible racing here at Beira. And all of that began because Austin Gale is defending in second position. Toby Gale has got an absolute stormer up front. So Toby Gale, 14 years of age, here from Pattaya City, has absolutely stormed away, and he's already over 3 seconds clear of Austin Gale. So Toby Gale has the lead in the Senior X30 final. Austin Gale won a Senior X30 final here last year. Now it looks like it's Toby's turn. But Austin Gale still racing valiantly against Kimi Chan and Zadia Vrajkal. They got very impatient with him at the end of that last lap as Yuka Bo gets ahead of Nikhil Bora once again. So Yuka Bo gets ahead, Fedos Fezrofosi is behind them, then Sentil, then Adam Rassamy and Kai Burke, the Australian, getting himself into the mix. So Toby Gale leads the race, Austin Gale in second position, and on the inside, Kimi Chan slam dunks and runs wide. Vrajkal gets through in a third position. Kimi Chan tried everything he could, and Toby Gale is disappearing into the distance as Austin Gale lets Kimi Chan slide up the inside. Look at it, just overshoots completely, ends up in the marbles, and Austin Gale and Zadia Vrajkal take him on. So Austin Gale now second position in front of Zadia Vrajkal. So the reigning senior champion let his teammate, the reigning junior champion, through, and we know how motivated and determined Zadia Vrajkal can be. If he sees a gap, he's going to go for it. So Austin Gale holding station. The man in front of him is the man he was racing against last year. Zadia Vrajkal was battling with Toby Gale in 2024 in junior. Now in 2025, he needs to get ahead of his brother to stand a chance of racing him in senior. But Zadia Vrajkal desperately trying to get ahead of Austin Gale, but it looks as though it's going to be 4 different winners from the first 4 finals of 2025. Vrajkal determined, not going to let Austin Gale block him anymore. It's a wrestling match up in the Mickey Mouse section. And Austin Gale again just parks the bus. The rage and the irritation will be bubbling over at DRM. He's blocking us. Get him out of the way. Zadia Vrajkal right in behind Austin Gale. But he's got pressure from behind him as well. Zadia Vrajkal tries to protect the inside line now from Kimi Chan. The junior and senior champions from 2024 are now nose to tail. Zadia Vrajkal pushing, trying to get past Austin Gale. And he's up the inside, and he's done it! Kimi Chan will be there with him on the inside line as well. So now Zadia Vrajkal and Kimi Chan are through. Kanjanapis trying to follow in as well, and he's made it. So Austin Gale back down to 5th position. And there goes Nikhil Bora, right round the outside of Yuka Po. Nikhil Bora, what a steal! He really is the fireball of this race. Magnificent from Bora on the outside of Yuka Po, who got held up there by Austin Gale. So now it's up to Kimi Chan and Zadia Vrajkal. They've got to team up to go after the race leader, Toby Gale, who is a full 5 seconds up the road with 14 laps, nearly 13 laps remaining. My goodness me, this is going to be almost impossible. But if any combination can do it, it's Zadia Vrajkal and Kimi Chan. Chan will not race with Vrajkal, he'll work with him. As up the inside goes Penikon Adam Rassamy. He dives in on the last corner on Fedos Fezrofosi. Now Kimi Chan is a wise cookie. In 3rd position, he will know that Zadia Vrajkal is not the man he's racing. He needs to work with him. They need to push around this course together in unison. 2nd and 3rd, they need to go after the race leader and they need to work together. So Chan is not going to make the overtake on Zadia Vrajkal if he's got any sense. He's going to push him. He knows that Vrajkal is quick. He's quick behind him as well. So they're going to work together. They're going to push each other around this course, trying to take on Toby Gale, who has the mother of all advantages up front. But if anyone's going to close in, it's going to be these two. The reigning junior champion and the reigning senior champion. They've got a chance to go together and close up on the tie up front. But they've got to do it in 12 laps. 12 laps to make up 5 seconds. That is an extraordinary task. But it isn't impossible. The gap is 4.4 seconds. So if they can take out 0.4 of a second per lap, then it's just about achievable. But they've really got to team up here. They've got to be in absolute sync. This is going to be the toughest race of the season for Zadia Vrajkal and Kimi Chan. 2 men who have won finals so far this year. This man has not yet, Toby Gale, but what a place to do it. Last year, in the opening round of the championship, he won the Junior X30 final. On the same day, his brother Austin won the Senior X30 final. Over 12 months later, on the same circuit, in the same championship, now both in senior, and Toby Gale has a chance to dominate in a way that Andrea Galimberti could only dream of in Junior X30. But it's all going to come down to Zadia Vrajkal and Kimi Chan. What can they do to close the gap? It was 4.4. Well, it's down to 4.3, but that is not enough. So Yukapo is now the fastest man on track. He's closing up on the top 5. Austin Gale is in P5, by the way. And there are so many battles to come, but only if there's an opportunity to close up on the race leader, Toby Gale. Zadia Vrajkal and Kimi Chan have got to step on it. But they've got to close up to the tune of at least half a second per lap for the remaining laps in this race. And I'm not sure they can gain that much time on Toby Gale, who knows this place like the back of his palm. So Kimi Chan tightening behind Zadia Vrajkal, and I believe the damage is done. Austin Gale trying to close back up to Clifford Kanjanapis though. And I think Austin Gale there saw the writing on the wall. He couldn't get ahead of Toby Gale in time to make this race come to him. So he thought, well, if I can defend second position, maybe there's a chance for us to get a 1-2. But it wasn't quite the way it worked out for Austin Gale. He couldn't hold them off for long. And so now down to 5th position he goes with a chance to look after his tyres now and hope for a bid for second place later. Fastest man on the racetrack, incidentally, is Yukapo, 55.279 for him. He's running in 6th ahead of Panakorn Adam Rasami, then Nikhil Bora, Fedas Fesrofosi, Shavash Sentil, Kai Berg, Siri Kangsiri, Chen Zhuyan, Didi Tsur, Andy Barrett, and Norris Gafour. So Zadia Vrajkal and Kimi Chan are doing everything they can to close up on the race leader. And it does look to me as though they've got good rhythm in unison, but they're not getting this gap down enough. 4.2 seconds was the gap. As Zadia Vrajkal and Kimi Chan come out of the last corner together, the gap comes down again, and it's still at 4.2. Only a few hundredths of a second they took out of him on the last lap. I think it's done. I think this is a race for second place now, not for the win. They needed to gain at least half a second a lap, and it's just not going their way. So the DRM Paralins absolutely powerless to stop the charge of the MRC Birilat of the 14-year-old from Pattaya. Toby Gale on home soil is absolutely dominating. He doesn't even need to push hard. He just needs to keep the focus and run a decent enough race. He can push it 9/10 essentially and still win this race. But Zadia Vrajkal, Kimi Chan and Clifford Kanjanapis are trying to cut through the air in unison here as the 3 DRM Paralins are doing everything they can to close up. But if the tyres fall off the cliff here for Toby Gale, then suddenly the fact that the 3 of them are working together will pay dividends. The gap has come down to 4.1, but it's not enough. Still they push, still they give each other plenty of encouragement and motivation. Kimi Chan pushing Zadia Vrajkal even further. Come on man, don't give up. We can still get him. If his tyres fall off, we are right here. But it is a long shot, and they know it's a long shot. And before too long, they're going to start battling each other for second place. Their own championship assaults will become more important. And Kimi Chan, of course, is not doing the full championship. He's already missed 1 round of the championship. He's going to miss at least 1 more before the season is out. He's already told us that. So he will play the team game here now that he can't go for the win himself. So being in 3rd position, he protects Zadia Vrajkal. So it's a good opportunity for the championship for Zadia Vrajkal. He'll still score a decent crop of points here in 2nd in the title fight. And of course, with Austin Gale in 5th place in front of Yukapo, it really helps out Zadia Vrajkal in the championship fight, but it also helps out Toby Gale in the championship fight, because Yukapo's handful of point advantage, 10-point advantage, is going to wash away if it stays like this. And then we'll have an absolute ding-dong for the last 2 weekends of the championship on this very circuit. One on the first weekend of August and one on the second weekend of September. But it's still going to be about who's got the motivation here, as Kimi Chan will want to play the team game. He knows which side his bread is buttered. He wants to help Zadia Vrajkal. But Clifford Kanjanapis is not doing a full championship campaign either. Yukapo is for the Explorer chassis for the PR1 team, and he's right in behind Austin Gale, and he is fighting him for the championship, don't forget. So that battle is going to be an intense one. Here comes Yukapo on the purple Explorer. And there is the trio of DRM Paralins, second, third and fourth. Raikal, Chan and Kanjanapas. It's going to be a tight race battle between them all. They know exactly how intense it can be. But it's going to be pretty tricky out there, that's for sure. As we go deeper into the battle, it's going to be a very tight race all the way to the finish line. And there is Toby Gale, having a very sizable race up in front. Still 4.2 seconds clear of the rest of the opponents. And that means it's going to be a bit of a ding-dong for second place now. So Raikal in second place from Kimi Chan and Clifford Kanjanapis. The dark clouds are descending, but I don't think it's going to change much in this race. As Toby Gale goes into the final 5 laps of this final. Kimi Chan trying to push Zadia Raikal further and further towards the Birolard in the lead. But I just don't think it's going to be enough. Yukapo has got ahead of Austin Gale now. And that puts him into P5. And into 7th place behind them is Panikorn Adamrasamy. So Panikorn Adamrasamy has been fantastic in this race. Today has been a much stronger day than yesterday. And he's put himself back into the top 10 ahead of Feras Fozy. And then we have Nikhil Bora and Kai Burke in the top 10. This is going to be a painful weekend result for Kai Burke. Third in the championship coming into this. He really wanted more from the weekend, I'm sure. But we are going to see a fairy tale finish for the Pattaya locals here. We've had a win for Italy, we've had a win for Australia, we've had a win for Malaysia, and it looks like we're going to get a win for Thailand. Pushing on the battle for second place with 4 laps to go. Zadia Raikal, Kimi Chan and Clifford Kanjanapis. The only man that can spoil their party now is Yukapo. And Yukapo is pushing on the Explorer, really trying to make the advantages count. Meanwhile, there's a great battle going on further down the order. We've got an absolute squabble of the decks here. As we've got some amazing duels further back. We've got Sentil, Kongsiri, Didi Tse and Chen Yuzhuan having a great duel amongst themselves, and even Andy Boret is not far away from that mark. And it looks as though we've had a couple of drivers run off the road at the back of the field there. I think that's Ryan Gunnar Vordana having a bit of a trip off the road. So that's unfortunate for him. That's his race well and truly scuppered. But out of the final turn onto the main straight with 3 laps to go goes Toby Gale. No worries at all for him and the MRC Birolard squad. Austin Gale will have to settle for 6th position on this occasion. It was a defence too far in the end. But he's very close to his brother Toby and very proud of his achievements. So I'm sure he'll be able to see the positive side of his younger brother taking the win. But Austin Gale trying to close up on Yukapo. A really exciting battle continuing on here, as we've got some amazing squabbles to come if Yukapo can close up on Clifford Kanjanapis. There's an absolute war going on for 7th position. 5 drivers all in the contest. Adamrasamy, Fozy, Bora, Burke and Sentil. Absolute dogfight between those 5 drivers. And then for 12th position we've got an amazing duel as well between Chen, Tse, Buret and Quinones. So some really exciting squabbles everywhere you look. But there's all sorts of duels to be had in this contest. And it looks as though we've got even more squabbles to talk about in the closing phases of this race. A couple of drivers dropping out of the fray by the look of it. I can't see Didi Tse circling anymore. Oh no, there she is in 13th. She's just in behind Chen Zhuyan. So the only reason I couldn't see her was because the front Nassau is now plain white compared to the DAP colour. So it was easy to miss on a distance. But there comes Toby Gale on the back stretch. And pulling away now in 2nd position is Kimi Chan. He's got ahead of Zadia Raikal. He's decided, look, if I do decide to do rounds 5 and 6, there's a chance still for me in the championship. So I'm going to go rogue, and he does get ahead of Zadia Raikal. As into the last lap goes Toby Gale. Kimi Chan in 2nd position. And Zadia Raikal 3rd in front of Clifford Kanjanapis and Yukapo. So Yukapo is going to be very frustrated, I think, with 5th position. Yellow flags flying. As at the penultimate hairpin, we've got 2 cars, and they're having a fight! Feras Fozy and Panikorn Adamrasamy. Come on, boys, that is not motorsport. Oh dear, they've tangled with each other. And unfortunately, that is a very silly situation for them to be in. Well done to the marshal for breaking that up. That is not motorsport. Walk away from each other, gentlemen. Walk away from each other. Oh, this is really silly now. But the checkered flag is going to come out for Toby Gale as he passes the scene of the incident. But Toby Gale is going to be victorious here on his backyard in fantastic circumstances. Toby Gale will come off the final turn and he takes the checkered flag. Toby Gale wins in Pattaya for the second year in a row. He won junior last year, he wins senior this year. Kimi Chan is second. Third place is Zadia Braikal. Fourth position for Clifford Kanjanapis in front of Yukapo, Austin Gale, Nikhil Bora, Kai Burke, Shabash Sentil and Chen Zhuyan. What a fantastic end to the race then, and an absolute domination for Toby Gale. Round 1 was lifted by Yukapo, round 2 was taken by Kimi Chan, and round 3 was victor by Zadia Braikal. And for the fourth final this year, we have a fourth different winner. His name, Toby Gale. And now the championship fight can begin in earnest for the young 14-year-old from Pattaya City. A fantastic result for Toby Gale in the MRC Birala. What a magnificent display, what a fantastic result, and a magnificent way for the final to end. And of course the battle will rejoin as we go to battle once again in the next round of the championship here at Bira Circuit. Fantastic racing concludes here in Senior X30. We'll take a pause as we get ourselves ready for the podium ceremony trackside here at Pattaya.